Hey everyone. So Hasbro PulseCon is going on right now, and they revealed all of their Marvel products that they're going to be releasing here recently and having pre-orders for. I'll share them with you and give you my opinion. Let you know what I think about these figures that they're revealing right now. Let's take a look. All right, let's jump right in. So I do collect a little bit of Marvel Legends. I don't have a ton, but I'm more of a Spider-Man guy, X-Men guy. But they started off their reveals with this retro-looking Iron Man. Now, the packaging on this is pretty elaborate. They've got Iron Man. He's got three heads. He's got three sets of hands, so six hands altogether. But the most intriguing thing about this is this gigantic blaster that we see right here. This cannon. That's what you need to call it, as a cannon. It looks pretty awesome. The cannon itself is as big, if not bigger, than the figure itself, the Iron Man figure as well. You can see that the box that this packaging comes in, you can see the person's hand right here. This is a huge box that everything comes in. And the best picture that I could come up with to show you the size of this cannon is right here. I mean, look at the size of the cannon as if it's on Tony Stark's shoulder right there, firing away. This is huge, and the cannon comes in its own box. So you've got the big box, which has this box right here, which also contains the packaging for the figure and the cannon itself. So this is a great looking figure. Growing up, I never really got into this line of figures. This is kind of a remake, and that's why it's a part of the retro line. I didn't get into these Marvel figures growing up. I was more, like I said, a Star Wars G.I. Joe guy, Transformers as well. But this is a really cool looking figure. It's almost to the point where I would like to just buy it just to get this cannon all by itself. And they know what they're doing. Hasbro's not, they're no dummies. They know that the appeal of this figure is going to be this cannon, or a lot of people are going to be drawn to it. But I like this. I think this is good. I probably will not pick it up because it's just not in the main line that I usually collect. But if you are a Marvel guy or girl, this one is probably one that you're going to want to pick up. All right, so they had a few other reveals here. Got to be honest, I have never seen this eyeball guy, and for the life of me, I do not remember his name. I know that there's a little bit of a connection here between this character and Ghost Rider, but I think it looks pretty awesome. Just the giant eyeball head is pretty cool. Now, it looks like it's a little bit of a repaint or a retool of some older figures, which they do all the time. Those look like Captain America boots, maybe some Captain America gloves as well. The belt looks a little bit different, but and the little gun here looks like something I've never seen before. Obviously, the eyeball head is something I've never seen before, but not going to pick this up. But if I saw it on the shelf somewhere, which I probably never will, but if I walk into a Walmart or a Target and I see it on the shelf, I might just have to buy it. But I don't plan on pre-ordering that one. Now, in the middle here, they also talked a little bit about the HasLab, the Ghost Rider HasLab that they're pushing right now. And I'm not going to get into my opinion on that. Is it expensive? Yeah, it is. But this is coming from a guy who also backed the HasLab Cobra Hiss tank. So I more of a GI Joe guy. I can definitely see the appeal of the Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes vehicle, but I do think it might be a little bit more I feel like the price of the Hiss tank, which was less, if I remember right, the Hiss tank was 299 or 300, and I felt like the vehicle was bigger and you just got a little bit more. Does it look good? Yes, the vehicle looks great, but for me, not being a mainline Marvel guy, it's not for me. The Mephisto figure looks pretty great. Um, uh, I like the fact that they made Mephisto stand taller. It's a 6-inch line, yes, but he's 7 inches. And really like the look of that figure as well. Not one I'm going to get, not going to back it, but not because they're not trying. I think the figure and the vehicle itself and what they're doing look great, but it's too high priced for what I'm looking for. Then they also revealed a Molecule Man. I think this figure looks pretty awesome. I like the effects, the like fire effects here on his hand. Cool looking figure. Not very familiar with this character. Not going to pick this one up, but again, if you like this line, I can definitely see the appeal. Now, one thing I will say about, and I'm probably going to bring this up with a couple other figures as we get a little bit deeper into this, I really wish that the standard Marvel Legends figures would come with more sets of hands and more heads, alternate heads. Comic book characters they are big, and like their personalities are big and their emotions are all over the place. Sometimes they're angry, sometimes they're laughing, sometimes they're sad. I would love to see more figures that have two alternate heads. Like if Marvel Legends really wanted to come up with something unique and that's never been, well, to my knowledge, has never been done before, at least through Marvel Legends. If they would release alternate, like a 3-pack of alternate heads for certain figures, I think collectors would gobble that up. And instead of just doing a repaint of an old figure and giving us something that we've already got, but it looks just a little bit different, make some new head sculpts that can be bought on an individual basis or in accessory packs. I think collectors, especially collectors that open, like toy photographers like myself, we would gobble that up. We would be handing over our money for more head sculpts. There's a reason why there's a huge secondary market for 3D printed head sculpts that people buy through eBay and on Etsy and everything else. If Marvel or if Hasbro was smart, I think they would do that. Now, I kind of got a little bit off track there, but let's keep going with the reveals that they had. All right, so they revealed these two figures. I think this is oh gosh, is her name Moonstar? Those of you that are Marvel people more than I am are probably saying this guy doesn't even know what he's talking about. And I'm doing the best that I can, but I like this figure. The thing that I like about it the most is it's pinless. You can see that in the elbows there's no pins, and that tells me that the better they get at this, the pinless elbow, the pinless joints, if you will, the figures that I'm the characters, excuse me, that I'm more familiar with and I'm more interested in are going to be pinless as well. So I really like this look right here. The white, kind of this pearl white, I like as well. It looks pretty cool. That's a great looking figure. And the face sculpt looks good as well. But this is, again, one of those things where I would love to have an alternative head that has a little bit different expression, a little bit more emotion. And then we get What If Gamora in her battle armor. Obviously, this is a nod to Thanos because she's got the gigantic blade. So this gives us a little bit of an idea of what the next series or the next series, season 2 of What If is going to introduce. In fact, I think that this particular character was supposed to be in season 1, but because of well, because of everything that's happening in the world over the last few years, that particular episode did not get aired. But good looking figure. I mean, I'm not sure if this is a render or an actual picture, but it looks good. But once again, I'd love to see a different expression on the face. Let's keep going. So they took a couple minutes and brought in Brian Hoyer, who is the backup quarterback for the New England Patriots. But with Mac Jones getting hurt at this point in time, you know, in this video, if you're watching this video, you kind of, and you follow sports, you know what I'm talking about. I think Brian Hoyer is going to be the starter for a few weeks because Mac Jones got hurt, but that doesn't really mean anything. But he must be an X-Men fan. He must be a toy collector because he was on here and he's with his son. I thought that was pretty cool. Sometimes I don't like it when they have these celebrity reveals or they bring in some, some YouTubers or influencers to reveal things because, you know, sometimes I would love to see YouTubers give more of an honest opinion. I think sometimes they say what they think they need to say in order to please the companies that be. And I think that real criticism, praise when they do something well is well deserved, but criticism when they're not doing something well is something that they should hear, because if we don't hold them accountable for, we're spending our hard earned money on these figures. And so if we just say everything's great, everything's great, everything's great, then they're just going to keep taking our money until we tell them we don't like this. You need to do better. If you want us to spend the amount of money that we are spending. So, anyways, I'm kind of going off track a little bit again, but this whole Brian Hoyer thing made me think about that. But he and his son were able to reveal this retro Wolverine, and I think this looks pretty awesome. Now, I've been begging for more than one head sculpt, and here we're getting more than one head sculpt. We've got two expressions on Wolverine's face. We've got the very neutral face, and we've got the angry face. So I love that. I love that we're getting two sets of hands with claws and without claws. Wolverine does not always have his claws out, even though he does quite often. So this is a great looking figure. One of the things that they pointed out, and you're going to see a theme with some of these other figures in this particular line, is that these stripes, these little bandoliers or bands around the legs, that they are built into the legs. They are sculpted in and painted onto the legs, as opposed to just being an extra piece that kind of falls down the leg down to his knees. So that was a good thing. That's something that they probably have been hearing from the fandom, and they're making a correction to that. So that's good. That's a positive thing. They deserve to be praised for that. So great looking figure. I have already pre-ordered mine, and this one looks great. It takes me back to my days of reading the X-Men comics back when I was in high school. So here we go. All right, then we get another retro figure reveal, and that is Longshot. Now, I was really excited about this figure because I pre-ordered the Mojo along with Longshot and Dazzler, and I canceled my pre-order because it was just too much money. I really didn't want the Mojo. I wanted the Longshot, I wanted the Dazzler, and this makes me super happy because now I can get my Longshot without having to get Mojo, which I really don't care about that much. He's cool character, looks awesome, but not one that I really want and need in my collection. But I really wanted a Longshot. I love this. I like the couple sets of hands. I like how he's got the little knives right here within his hand, built into his hand. This knife right here looks good. All of the bandoliers and everything. What I would say, if anything, we need more pouches. This goes back to the original, back when Rob Liefeld was putting pouches all over people, and so give me some more pouches to get that '90s feel. But the Longshot looks great, and once again, I definitely am pre-ordering this one. All right, then we got Multiple Man in the retro line as well. Not quite as excited about this one. I think that the packaging looks good. I'm glad once again that we're getting two heads. This particular head, this face looks a little bit better. The angry face looks a little bit better than the neutral face. This face right here, he just looks like he's in a staring contest, or he's annoyed by you, and he's like, really, really? Is that what you're going to say? I don't know. But the figure looks good. I don't know that this picture on the right really does justice to the colors. I think that the colors in the packaging over here look a little brighter, and that's probably, again, due to the studio lights on some of these figures. But the Multiple Man, I think it looks pretty cool. So not one I'm going to get, because I really don't, this character I never really connected with, but it is a cool looking figure. All right, now this is the one I'm most excited about, Dark Phoenix. I missed out on the Phoenix 2-pack from Toys R Us. I did not, and I found the original figure in different places, but it's way too overpriced for my budget. This one I can get. I cannot say enough good things about this. The packaging looks great, but I open my figures, so I'm not really worried about the packaging that much. But the colors on this Dark Phoenix look awesome. The little Phoenix accessory that you can put in her hand looks cool. We do get 2 sets of hands. I wish we were getting 2 heads. All the other retro figures are getting 2 heads. I mean, Multiple Man gets 2 heads, and Longshot, well, I guess he's only got 1 head, but Wolverine had 2 heads. And I wish we could have gotten 2 head sculpts for the Dark Phoenix figure. But the one that we are getting looks amazing. The hair is great. I got to say that there's a couple of people that I follow on Instagram that do custom heads, and they sculpt hair out of clay, and then it hardens and they paint it up. Some of the big hair custom heads that you can get online are just awesome. And this is really, really close to some of those. I'm super excited to get this figure. Just everything about it looks great. That Dark Phoenix story back when I was growing up, reading through that, one of the best X-Men stories that I've ever read. And it brings back so many memories. Jean Grey is a great character. Phoenix, Dark Phoenix, great character. Already pre-ordered this one for sure. All right, then we get to the next in the retro line, which is Avalanche. Not as much to say about Avalanche. I will say this figure looks great. It's not one that I'm going to get because, again, I spend my budget, most of my toy money towards G.I. Joe and Star Wars. But this head sculpt is pretty awesome. Not a whole lot of accessories with Avalanche, but I can't imagine what else you would put along with him. You get 2 sets of hands and that's about it. But everything else, the silver and the blue, really, really like it. And just the way that the face kind of has kind of sticks out or stands out, I should say, underneath that helmet looks really nice as well. This retro line, Marvel, you deserve credit. This retro line looks great. Love it. All right. Then we get to Spiral. Have to the Phoenix and this Spiral, 2 best reveals for the Marvel Legends that they had. Definitely going to pick this one up. I mean, even if you didn't know who Spiral was, and I read some stories about her, and she was in some of those stories that I read when I was growing up, but I mean, 6 arms. This looks like, I hope that the figure itself is as cool in hand as it looks in this particular picture. I mean, these 6 arms, if they did this well, and it sure looks like they did, then this is going to be an amazing figure. And I love the fact that there are weapons for every single one of her hands. You've got at least 6 weapons. It looks like, yep, 6 weapons, and you get a couple of extra hands in there as well. I'm not sure what this one over here is, but it looks like you get a couple extra hands to go along with the 6, maybe 7 or 8 hands. I guess it looks like in the packaging just 7 hands, but this looks awesome. I can't wait to get this one in my collection. All right, they had a couple other reveals. Now, these cannot be pre-ordered yet, at least to my knowledge. The Storm to go along in that line. The Banshee, it's a new Banshee. They did say Banshee was probably going to have 2 head sculpts, so that one looks good. And then we've got Strife right here as well. This figure looks great. Now, I have to admit, when I was watching this feed, I think my feed froze and went out, and I didn't see them reveal this Strife until afterwards, and I was kind of looking online at some different pictures. This figure looks awesome. That helmet is great. And if this is as posable as I'm hoping it will be, this should be a really fun picture, or a fun toy action figure to take pictures of. So I'm going to keep my eye out for this one. And if I can pick up one of these Stripes, I will. All right. Then they revealed the next figure in their VHS X-Men line, and it is Cyclops. I think he looks great. Really do. I've picked up several of the other figures in this particular line. The only thing that complaint I have, and I saw a lot of other people were complaining as well, how do we not have like a beam, a light beam, eye beam accessory here? I mean, we have to have a light beam accessory here. That makes no sense. I mean, it's even in the picture. Right here is the picture. Right now, it looks like we're just getting a couple of extra sets of hands, and that's about it. So I want to point this out as well, though, that the bands on his chest and on his legs are built into the figure. They're not going to fall off. They're not going to go away. They are built into the figure, and I think that's a positive thing. On the VHS side of things, they revealed that this Cyclops would more or less be the last one that they do in this X-Men line, at least for a while. Maybe they'll come back to it at some point in time, but then they're going to move this VHS line to the Spider-Man. They know where their cash cow is. Spider-Man is definitely Spider-Man and the X-Men are their big money makers when it comes to Marvel. So it doesn't surprise me at all that they're going to do this Spider-Man and Carnage VHS line. I'm not sure. You can maybe tell other people in the comments. I'm not sure if this is going to be a 2-pack or if they're going to come separate, but I'm sure that this line will be pretty nice. I mean, the sculpting that they've done on some of the most recent Spider-Man figures, especially the retro Spider-Man figures, has been awesome. So I'm sure we're going to get some good ones here. Now, the only thing about that is these are probably going to be repaints. So I would love it if there was something just a little bit different about these and not just the paint job that makes them different than the other Spider-Man figures that they make. Hopefully they do something to make it something new that we can be excited about besides just a new paint job on the same old Spider-Man figures, which is still pretty awesome. All right, as we continue, this was towards the end of the show. I did not see this reveal. Again, I think that my Marvel feed when I was watching it went out. So I found this online, and there's this 3-pack with Bullseye, Daredevil, and Elektra. The best thing about this, I'm not a Daredevil guy. I think the Daredevil figure looks pretty awesome. Bullseye looks good. I love that we're getting 2 heads for the Bullseye, so you've got different expressions, and you're also getting 2 heads for the Elektra. The hair. I'm coming back to it. This hair is awesome. Like, I want to track this figure down just so I can get this head so that I can maybe customize this head for other figures. I can definitely see this hair on a Rogue. I mean, paint this hair brown and put a white stripe down the middle along with the headband, and we have a Rogue. I can definitely see people doing that. But this is give me more heads. I know that sounds terrible. I got to be careful the way I say that. But Marvel Legends, please put out more head sculpts with your figures. This is something that I think a lot of people are asking for and I would love to see. Not going to pick this up again. A little bit too more expensive for me. Maybe I'll be able to pick up the Elektra on the secondary market for a cheaper price, but probably not. She's probably going to be even more expensive, just like the old Phoenix figure was in that 2-pack. All right, let's keep rolling. One of the last things they revealed was this Walmart exclusive Guardians of the Galaxy, this StarLord. I've never been into Guardians of the Galaxy. I do think this figure looks pretty neat. The paint job, the colors, the blue and the gold look good. I like the head sculpt, these bulging this eyewear and the helmet as well. This is a good looking figure. Not one I'm going to pick up, mainly because not really interested in this figure, in this character, and Walmart exclusives, they just don't do anything for me. You can hardly get exclusives anymore because you don't know where to find them, and then once you do find them, they're usually sold out. So, not something I'm going to pick up. Well, that was the Marvel PulseCon reveals. Those were my opinions. Hopefully you enjoyed what you listened to. If you enjoyed this, give me a like, comment. If you didn't like what you heard, just tell me in the comments. Check out some of my other videos. I just do some fun things. I like to do toy photography. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is Star Wars Makes Things Better. I know it's kind of a long name, but no underscores or anything. Star Wars Makes Things Better. If you find me on there, send me a message there, send me a comment here, and hopefully you enjoyed this, and hopefully I hear from you, and hopefully you have a great day.